So yeah, we're there. We're live. Do me a favor. Could you go on your phone on YouTube and just see how I sound? See if it's like too loud or not loud enough. Sweet. Oh, look good. All right. Good. How do I sound? I look super loud. Huh? Oh, it takes a couple seconds because it's behind. I sound good? Well, sound good, look good, I'm all good. Plantains. All right. All right. So that's there. Chickpeas. Protein. Yeah, should be good. We'll start as soon as people jump on. We'll just leave the empty space.
Okay, people, I did all of achieve. Did you get through achieve?
Through the what?
Achieve email I sent out?
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
And then we did it all from who else did we do? Prevention team.
Let's get started. I did. All right. Welcome, everybody, to a Meatless Monday brought to you by Feed the Mass, Reach, and Multnomah County Public Health, or Health Department, right? Yeah? You don't see my screen yet? Oh, no. Now you do? Yeah, it's a lag. All right, you're good. All right, got me stressed out. All right, so let's try that again. Welcome everybody to a amazing Meatless Monday with Feed the Mass, Reach, and Multnomah County Health Department. Today we are doing our beetroot curry with mashed plantains and roasted curry beets. This is a very amazing dish because we do this in the restaurant, Grassroots PDX, if you want to check it out. This is actually our special that we have going on this month, and I was like, well, if we're gonna go vegan, might as well do something that we know is amazing. And it's a very easy dish, and if you learn how to actually make the curry, you can put any kind of protein with it. But because we're doing Meatless Monday, we're gonna figure out what is gonna be our substitute. So our substitute for meat is gonna be beets, and we're also gonna throw in some garbanzo beans as another additional source of protein. Then the one thing that's really cool about this is gluten-free. It's also made with natural sugar, so we're using maple syrup to sweeten our curry. We're gonna be using coconut milk, so it's dairy-free. So this is I would say, for those who have allergies, this is a very friendly dish. We're also gonna be using plantains, which I love making plantains. It's been something I've been using for the last year now for a lot of substitutions when it comes to white potatoes. So if you don't know where to get plantains, you can get these in most supermarkets now, even Fred Meyer's. But plantains are awesome. Try to get them when they're green. If they're a little bit yellow or dark black, they're gonna be sweeter, but they're actually gonna be a lot easier to peel. But the green ones are more starchy, I would say a little more bitter. But when we put our coconut milk and everything in it, it's gonna be tasting really good. So before we get started, we're gonna do a couple things. We're gonna make sure we have all our tools that we're gonna need. So let's go through our tools real quick. So we're gonna need 2 pots. One that is gonna be filled with water and turned on, ready to go for our plantains. We're gonna need one for the curry. So I'm using a Dutch oven because it stays hot for a long time and it holds heat and it's really good for simmering things. And then we're also gonna need our oven, which should be preheated. Make sure you take your plants off. But should be preheated to 375 degrees. That's gonna be for our roasting of our beets. Let's go over our ingredients list right now. So if you're looking for ingredient list, it's gonna be in our description down below of our video, but we also should have them emailed as well out. So either way works. So for our roasted beet, we have 2 large beets. It says 3 large ones, but these are really big. So we want 2 really large beets. And we're gonna use oil, salt, pepper, and curry powder. So that's gonna be for our roasted beets. For our curry itself, we're gonna need 2 bell peppers. We're gonna need 1 dried bay leaf or fresh bay leaf, either way. You need a tablespoon of thyme, which I got a big bunch. 1 carrot, 1 red onion. I would say a thumb size of ginger, so it should equal about 1 tablespoon of ginger. 4 cloves of garlic, fresh, or 2 tablespoons of garlic if you have it already pre-chopped. 1 serrano. And then you're also gonna need a tablespoon of maple syrup. So this is the real maple stuff. If you have the imitation stuff, it's not as healthy, so try to avoid that. If you have like palm sugar or regular brown sugar, that totally will work. Try to go as all natural as you can. We also have veggie stock, so you're gonna need a cup of veggie stock for our curry. And of course, chickpeas, we're using 1 can of chickpeas, and we're gonna hold this off to the end so you'll see how we add that in. A couple things that are gonna make your life easier. Make sure you have a trash bowl. This is a compost bowl. Only food scraps go into this. No stickers or anything like that. Try to keep food scraps only. Tools you're gonna need: a knife, a good chef knife. It's gonna work perfect. A peeler, so a really good peeler. You can find these anywhere, but make sure it's super sharp. If it's not sharp, you have a chance of hurting yourself. So remember, dull things usually are the ones that cut you. So remember that. You're gonna need a spoon to stir things because that's what you do. Potato masher is gonna make your life super easy, so make sure you get a potato masher. If not, you can also use a whisk and smash it with a whisk or a fork. We're gonna need that for our smashed plantains later. I like to use a spatula to mix things, so a spatula. And then of course, a strainer of some sort. I actually have a colander with a bowl to keep the water, because there's gonna be a lot of good nutrients in that water that we're getting from the plantains. And also that starchy water is gonna help with our curry. In case it gets too thick, we put a little bit of that starchy water in it. It keeps it a little bit looser. Now, this is an optional tool for your curry. You can actually chop everything really fine and be able to do just fine, just simmering it out, and it'll actually kind of melt into each other. But we're kind of doing more of a rustic, kind of like, we want it to be quick. And one of the big tools, you could use a food processor, a large one. You can also use a blender. And today, I'm actually going to be using an immersion blender to do a lot of the pureeing, so our actual curry is really nice and smooth. So it's a really awesome tool. Highly suggest if you can, get one. This is more industrial size. They come a lot smaller. But I like using this versus a blender, because we've all been in a situation where the blender explodes. I don't like that. I feel safer with this. So put this on the side. Little tool we're gonna need. All right, how are we doing on views? People out there? Not yet. All right. Well, if you have ever had curry, please down below comment what was your favorite curry and where did it come from. So make sure you check that out. But let's get cooking, because I know there's gonna be tons of you when we're watching this later. So let's get this going. So the first thing we're gonna do, we have our oven preheated 375, super important. We're gonna need a sheet pan with parchment. All right. We're gonna get our scrap bowl because we need to peel our beets. I did the big one, the awkward one right now, but we're gonna use a peeler, and we're just gonna carefully peel our beets. So if you're cooking long, take this time, be careful, peel it. People like to do this thing where they cut a bunch of it off. I just like to use the peeler to kind of get that little root part off. That way we're not wasting a bunch of beets. And that root's not very thick, so you should be fine. If you have like these giant divots, go with the top of your peeler. Sometimes they have this little divot thing. Just peel out these little black parts in. Perfect. Now, if you don't want your hands to be nice and red for a day, it's not really a big deal. You can wear gloves for this part. But beets are awesome. They're high in vitamin C. They are also loaded with iron and other minerals and vitamins that we need, essential vitamins. And this is super important because we want to think about this Meatless Monday being the time where you gain a lot of nutrients. So if you're starting your entire week off with a bunch of nutrients, it's gonna be kind of like your giant supplement for the week. So if you're worried about like eating healthy and stuff like that, this is a really good way to get a lot of vitamins and minerals, things to get you thinking better, making better decisions, less lethargic. Super important. All right. So how we doing, Michaela? Still 3. Hello, all 3 of you. I appreciate you guys being here. All right, so our second beet's peeled. If you guys are a little bit behind, it's okay. Just understand you can always pause and just catch up to the next thing once you're ready to go. So don't stress. All right, so scraps, super important. Keep those to the side. Give your hands a quick wipe. I'm gonna go and rinse off my peeler. Perfect. One thing beet does like to do is stain things, so just keep it, keep it washed. So water's starting to boil. That's super important. We need that boiling. Now we're going to talk about getting our beets ready for roasting. So what we're going to do is some of this beets is going to go into the curry, and the other part is going to be roasted. So what I want to do is create a perfect like box or rectangle. So all I'm going to do, cut the bottom off. Perfect. Make a little flat part. This part we're going to put onto our tray because, again, this is going in our curry. We're going to cut one side, perfect. 2 side, perfect. 3 side, perfect. 4 side. So this is super important because now we're not wasting any part of our beet, and we're going to make sure all of our beet looks pretty consistent square. So this is going to be a more also beautiful dish because everybody likes to eat with their eyes first. All right, so with this, all we're going to do, cut it in half. Perfect. All right, you got 2 little planks. We're going to cut this in half again and again. And then with these, we're going to measure about 1/2 inch and make little mini, I would say, rectangular cubes. All right. I haven't done geometry in a long time, so I don't know a proper term for that. Do you know? What's the proper term? No? Just rectangular deck, mini deck size, mini card deck size. So we're going to put this all to the side. Perfect. These ones I'm going to cut a little bit smaller because we want them all to cook evenly. So, go. There we go. Perfect. And we're going to do the same thing with the other one. So cut the bottom, create nice square shape. Beautiful. Turn it over. Boom. So we have our little scraps. Those are going to go in a curry. These are going to go and get roasted. Perfect. Beautiful. Perfect. All right, so now we have our little planks of beet. We're going to throw these into a bowl. Any questions so far? Nope. All right, I just want to make sure. If you have questions, make sure you comment it down in the question part. If you're new to using YouTube, there's a part where you can just swipe over, and there is the place you can ask all your questions. So we're going to put a little bit of oil, about a tablespoon of oil. We're going to season these beets up. So we're going to put some black pepper. Beautiful. Take some sea salt. All right, if you ain't sneezing when you're seasoning, you ain't doing enough. So we're going to put about a tablespoon. So when I measure things, I like to use a consistent measuring tool. So large tablespoon usually works, and it's about a tablespoon. But whenever you're cooking, try to use a consistent measuring tool to know how much you're putting in. So that's super important. So tablespoon. Curry powder. Now curry powder is different than turmeric. Curry powder has a bunch of different spices in there as well. So when you are looking in a store, look for curry powder, not just turmeric. Turmeric is good by itself, but we want to add those other spices like cinnamon and cumin and coriander. That's super important. And all we're going to do, just mix it. Get our hands in there. So not only will your hands be a little bit pink, it will also be a little bit yellow. A lot of issues there. All right, so we're going to rub this all together. Beautiful. All right, so you want every piece of beet to be covered in every little corner. If they're not seasoned, keep mixing until it gets there. And all we're going to do is place our beets on parchment-lined sheet tray. Now the one thing, parchment's going up in price, so you can use a silicone mat. That totally will work. Just give it a little bit of space. You don't need a lot of space, but enough for warm air to go through. Another thing you can also do is you can also use tin foil. That totally will work. If you got parchment, wax paper is all right. Just make sure it's okay to go in the oven. Read the label. Beautiful. So this should be enough for about 4 servings. And these are going to shrink by 50%. So this is going to go in the oven for about 20, maybe 25 minutes until they're fork tender and nice and roasty. All right, so we'll put this in our dish. Throw some soap and water into our hands. find the soap. We'll get back with that. All right. So, like I said, well, it actually came out pretty good. Hand's a little beady, but it's all right. All right, so we're gonna throw this in the oven, 375 for about 20 minutes. We're gonna check on it at 15 minutes. So Michaela, can you put a timer down for 15 minutes? Be my time lady. Perfect. All right, so far so good. Everybody still with us? Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna clean off our cutting board. It's okay, there's a little bit of beet. Now, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start our curry. So the first thing we're gonna do, get our pot. We're gonna turn on our pot to medium-high heat. If you're using a Dutch oven, it's gonna take about 3-4 minutes for it to heat up. So we're just gonna gently get this pot nice and warm and hot. If it starts to smoke, turn it down a little bit, but we wanna make sure this is ready to go for us. So first thing we're gonna do, let's talk about our vegetables. So we have our carrot. We're gonna peel our carrot, nice and easy. Perfect. So peeling a carrot, put this to the side, be done. All right, I wanna get our plantains started also at the same time, so we're kind of doing a little bit of prep for both. So we cut the top, bottom, and then with the tip of a knife, we're just gonna go through about a 1/4 inch so you can get underneath that hard exterior. And then all we do is just go with our fingertip. Now, one thing in the restaurant, we have to do boxes of these sometimes. So sometimes if it's super hard, you can run in hot water. Or another thing you can also do, put it in the microwave for about 2 minutes and then try to pull it out and peel it. It might help a little bit. Our goal is not to waste any of this. All right. Perfect. So that. Just take our time. Don't want to rush this. When you rush things, you make mistakes. Especially when cooking. So, Michaela, what have you eaten lately that has blown your mind? Collard wraps?
Yeah, with like
Hummus?
and Dijon mustard in it.
Dijon mustard. Okay.
Dried tomato.
Ooh. Sun-dried tomatoes? Okay, I can respect
Red pepper, and it's like
that. Okay. We gotta get you doing that one next week or next month. Yeah. All right. Collard wraps. Maybe make 3 or 4 of them. That'd be dope. Also, if you guys are watching this, comment down below what kind of things you want to turn meatless, so we can get some ideas of what you guys want to actually learn. That way, I'm not teaching you stuff that you don't want to learn. Feedback. That's what we're looking for. Feedback. All right, so remember that pot of water we got going? So all we're gonna do is take our plantains, chop these into 1/2-inch slices, so this cooks pretty quickly. Beautiful, and we're just gonna throw this into boiling water. Now, I salted this water, so know that this is salted water, so put about a tablespoon of salt in this, not too crazy because we are going to season this later as well, but we just want to start that. Beautiful. All right, so that's going. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes. So when the timer goes off, we'll wait a couple more minutes and this is going to be ready to go to just be checked on. All right, so back to our curry. We have our onion. Now we're using a red onion. You could use white onion if that's all you have, but we're kind of want to make this is a beetroot, so a really good vibrant color of red, or even like more of a beet red or purple. So we're trying to get more ingredients that are red, which I find really interesting because a lot of vegetables when you're at the store is green. Everybody moves to the green stuff, but red is actually another sign of a lot of nutrients you need. So try, again, eating with the rainbow, as they would say. Try to find more vegetables of different colors to cook with. Get different types of minerals and vitamins. So with this, peeled out the outer husk. Cut him right in half. And all we're going to do is just large dices. So all I like to do, just nice and easy, about a 1/2 inch slice. Because remember, we're going to puree this, so it doesn't have to be super small. Nice and big. It's totally fine. All right, one more time. Now, if you ever want to learn how to use a knife properly, we do have a knife skills video on our YouTube, so you should definitely check it out. So we're going to throw this right back onto the pan. Now, everything is going to cook at its own time, so don't have this thing and we're putting everything on each other. Keep things separate. We're going to go back to our carrot. We're going to cut off the little top, a little bit of bottom, and then cut this in half, a little bit more manageable. We're gonna make that tunnel, fingers up, so we don't cut our fingers. I'm gonna cut this one more time, right in half, and in half. Beautiful. One more time, tunnel, right in half, right in half, and then, again, large dices. Beautiful. Taking our time. You don't have to go my speed. The great thing about YouTube, you can always pause it and keep going. So don't feel like you gotta rush with me. Beautiful. Keep things separate because again, things cook at its own time. All right, so we're gonna go with our ginger. We're gonna cut 4 walls of ginger off. Now, one thing I like to do, get a little Ziploc baggie and save these and put them in the freezer. And you can put tea, you can put them in marinades, so they're still good. It's just, it's really hard with a rough skin to use them while cooking it with them. So we'll put this on to the side. Cut a little top, a little bottom off. And all we're gonna do, nice and thin. Super easy. All right. So that is our ginger. We're gonna go with our garlic. One thing I like to do, get our garlic, put it down, cutting board on top, smash it. There we go. Never use your knife. You could accidentally cut yourself with your knife. Last time I've heard you can't cut yourself with a cutting board. It's weird. All right, peeling this paper off. Nice and easy. Same thing. Beautiful. Now the best part about like soups or stews or any kind of cooking where you use a blender or anything like that, you don't have to go crazy. So just smashing with your hand, crushing it, or again, using your cutting board just to break it up, make it a little bit smaller. That is all you need. Super easy. Serrano, we put a little spice, because what's a curry without a little bit of spice? So all we're gonna do, big chunks. Super easy. And yes, we're keeping the seeds. We're not gonna be wimps today. You okay with heat, right? Mm-hmm. All right, cool. I just wanna make sure. All right, so bell peppers. Pop off this little top. Then all we're gonna do is cut around the seeds. Cutting around the seeds. Super easy. There we go. A little bit of waste. It's all right. Going into compost. So again, around the seeds. Got a little extra, just drop it off, you know, not a big deal. Throw that into there. Now, with this, large dice again. So first thing I'm gonna do, let's make some sticks. Sorry, not large dice, medium dice. Make some sticks, medium dice size. Make all those sticks. Little bit sticks. Perfect. Pile them all up. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Let's get these sticks turned. Pile them up. Again, medium dice. Nothing special about this. All right, this means anyone can cook this. You don't need special knife skills or anything. You just need a pot and some heat and some water. You can make this anytime. Beautiful. All right. Scoot this all over. So we have our little bunch of thyme. So all we're gonna do with this, just put this over because we're gonna actually just throw that all in whole. Our little bay leaf, put it to the side. So, super easy. Now you should be checking your pan, make sure it's hot, make sure it's not burning. All right. Now last, we have our beets. And we're just gonna chop this up again so it cooks along with everything else. So, planks. Beautiful. Oh yeah. We don't waste anything. You know, part of what Feed the Mass stands for is all about that zero waste. So we use every part of our beet to make sure that we don't waste anything. If we can compost it, that's perfect, but we don't let anything go into landfills. Key. No landfills. So any questions, no comments? Nothing? All right. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. So for those of you at home that are watching this and cooking along with us, I want you guys to answer this question. What is a vegetable that you are very interested in learning how to cook? Because there are tons of vegetables that I think people are very intimidated by. And if we can make it easier for you to, learn how to cook them or how to properly use them, I think it always can be beneficial to everybody. So if there's something you want to learn how to cook, comment down below. Let us know. What can we teach you how to make? So last little bit of beet. Perfect. All right. I think we have done all of our chopping. I'm going to give my hand a quick rinse. How are we doing on the timer? 55 seconds. Perfect. So we're going to see how our beets are looking. And they're looking great. So we're probably add another, I'm going to say 10 minutes to that. And then we're going to look at our plantains. They're nice and floaty. That's good. That's what we want. And then we're gonna start making our curry. So this is gonna be exciting. So again, preheated Dutch oven or skillet, pot, anything large that can hold heat really well. And then we're gonna start cooking. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a very simple aromatic oil. Now aromatic oils are super important because it flavors the entire dish throughout the entire dish. So we're gonna put about close to 2 tablespoons of oil. And it's gonna be like, why is so much oil? Now, mind you, we are gonna be cooking everything. And so if we don't use enough oil, it's gonna be in a situation where we're going to have things stick and burn, and we want everything to be coated. And this is olive oil, so it's really healthy for you. These are good fats, good saturated fats. That's what we're looking for. So we're gonna put our garlic, and you should hear sizzling. That's what we're looking for. We're gonna put our ginger. I'm gonna come close so you can hear it. That's what you're looking for. We're gonna take our thyme. Again, kind of break it up a little bit. And we're gonna pick those sticks out later. So don't stress, be like, oh my gosh, all those sticks. And then we're gonna put our bay leaf in. And our serranos. And we're gonna stir. And right now we're flavoring our oil. We want this to kind of like the garlic to kind of almost toast a little bit. And if it's burning immediately, take the pan off the hot heat and keep stirring. We don't want anything to burn. If it's burning, it's probably because you're not stirring. So keep it going. And you can already start smelling the nice, good fragrance in here. Smelling good? All right. Beautiful. All right. So, we got the dinner train coming by. Like it? Beautiful. All right. So, first thing we're going to put in is our carrots and our beets. Now, these are the most woodiest of our vegetables, so we're going to start those first. Those are going to take the longest to cook. So. Perfect. And we're going to do our first batch of seasoning. We're going to put in our salt, a little pinch, less than a teaspoon, and another half teaspoon of pepper. And we use these in rounds, so it seasons throughout the entire cooking process. Not a situation of, you know, we only season once at the end. We don't only season in the beginning. We season through the entire thing. So everything gets a little bit of seasoning while we cook. So your vegetables should be glistening because it has all that beautifully flavored oil of our aromatics. Oh yeah, it's nice and happy. Put this down. So while things are cooking, we're always cleaning our stations, making sure your mom or your husband or your wife isn't gonna get angry at you when you get done cooking. The kitchen's a mess. So, you know, get a good habit and practice of cleaning as you cook. Getting everything in its own place. Mind you, I hate cleaning because I'm always cooking. So, it's a single life, you know? It's a single life. All right, so we're gonna stir. It's looking beautiful. You can kind of see the carrots getting really nice neon. It's like going from orange to like neon orange. I love this. All right, so it's been a couple minutes. We're gonna start, you start seeing a lot of that liquid from the beets and the carrots coming out. It's a good sign that they're starting to cook. So we're gonna start adding in our onions and our bell peppers. Beautiful. And then we mix, we season. So another teaspoon of salt, another half teaspoon of pepper. And we stir. So I'm gonna turn this heat up just a little bit because we're putting a bunch of cold vegetables into a hot pan. So we need the pan to kind of recover a little bit. So we're not stewing, we're sauteing right now. This is already looking amazing. All right. So where's your favorite curry? Where have you had your favorite curry, Michaela? Japanese curry. Like, do you have it like on rice or fries? What do you do? On rice? They have this, like, there's this Asian place they do Japanese curry on fries. It's like a Japanese poutine, but it's super good. Oh, I don't know. It was a food cart stall. I think it was either at Hawthorne or it was in Beaverton. It's one of the two. There's so many food carts, they all blend together now. Tell us, where is your favorite curry? Put it in the comments down below. My favorite curry is actually, so it's sag paneer. It's Indian curry. They have it at like Siri, India in Northwest 23rd in Quimby, I think, something like that. It's super amazing. I love Indian curries. My friend, she used to cook with me like a few years ago, doing cooking classes. Oh no, it just blew. It's okay. There we go. I gotta put this onto another. We're okay. We're having small technical difficulties. No, that will just blow again. Yep, very good. I know. All right. We're okay. All right, see? You know, that's the key. All right, sometimes this stuff happens. It's all good. All right, so our vegetables are getting nice and soft. Our plantains are almost done. So next thing we're gonna do is we're going to start seasoning with some of our curry powder. So what we're gonna need is 2 tablespoons of curry powder. Sorry, 3 tablespoons. Just wanna make sure I have the right one. 3 tablespoons of curry powder. There we go. And we're gonna toast this a little bit before we add any liquid to this. So we wanna start activating the spices of the curry powder. All right, and you can really start smelling it. Oh, that is our oven. So we're going to check on our beets. We're going to grab a fork and we're going to test them. So we want to make sure they go through. Oh, no, we got another 5 minutes. Still pretty sturdy. It's all good. All right. Now we're going to deglaze with some vegetable stock. So get all that stuff on the bottom that's starting to cook up. It's already smelling really good. And then we're going to add in our 1 can of coconut cream. Now we want to go with the cream because we want that extra fat. It's good fats for you. And it's going to make this entire thing creamier. This is like more of a creamy curry. Now, normally people would go and put like milk or heavy cream in this or yogurt. So that's why we're kind of substituting with our coconut cream, the creaminess. Oh, this looks so good. All right. Now we're gonna bring this up to a boil and then down to a simmer. So once it starts bubbling, bring it down to a simmer. So about medium to medium-low heat, just so that there's small bubbles, and then we're good to go. We're gonna check on our plantains. Yeah, they're almost done. Got like another 5 minutes. And again, depending on your house, some things may cook a lot faster than others. We're using induction cooktops, so they're a little bit slower than a regular stove. So it might be a little bit quicker for you. It's all right, not a big deal. We're working with what we can right now. So, oh, everything's looking good. And so once it starts coming up to a boil, like it's almost right there, we're gonna bring it down to a simmer, and we're not gonna cover this. Super important. We want this to kind of reduce a little bit, concentrate, and again, we can always add more water, but we really want all these flavors to kind of reduce, concentrate down below. We add more liquid if we need to later. But now it's starting to boil. Bring this down and let it do its thing. So put that right there. Oh, these are looking good. I'm actually gonna switch these real quick. So do this. So this one gets a little hotter, so we're going to switch this up a little bit. You want more of a rolling boil. All right. How are we feeling? Good. Good. Hungry? I know, I feel you. I'm like looking at this, I'm like, ooh, this is so good. All right, so we're going to get ready because once these are good. So to make our mashed plantains, ingredients that we're going to need. Of course, need a little bit more coconut cream, so about 3/4 cup. We're gonna need some salt, some pepper, and olive oil. Perfect. I did it right. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, I guess. We'll see you guys in like 3 minutes. We're gonna check on these plantains. It's a good time to go get a drink, go use the bathroom, and we'll be back. See you soon. Start talking about culture. All right, so we're back on. Hey guys, hello. So one of the things we were to talk about is, because this is for the culture, so Michaela now has a mic, so you guys can hear her. So she's not, you don't just hear this faint voice in the background. So Michaela, so tell me, what is the culture? What are you trying to talk about?
So,
Just talk. Yeah, you're good.
I'm Michaela Hill. I'm the Nutrition Health Promotion Specialist with the REACH team, and REACH stands for the Racial Ethnic Approaches to Community Health.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to start this Meatless Monday for the culture, mainly having it be ethnic, flavorful foods
Mm-hmm.
that aren't bland, something that you want to cook at home and you're not even thinking about it doesn't contain meat.
Right.
And I'm not saying that meat protein is bad for you, but we want to go more towards more nutrients in your foods and whole foods,
Mm-hmm.
focusing on your vegetable content, your fiber content,
Yeah.
and less protein. And it's also good for the environment and shopping organic and local. And it's very important. So the culture for us is being Oregonians and African Americans and African immigrants. And yeah.
Love it. So like, what I guess what was the main driver for you guys to like really focus on like African American and African refugees and like bringing this to a forefront? Like, what was the main driver for you?
Mainly the health disparity seen between the African American and African immigrant communities compared to other ethnicities. I think it's important to highlight that we are the highest rate of diabetes, as well as other comorbidity diet-related diseases.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that we can do by educating, cooking lessons, because you can easily give someone a recipe and be like, okay, here, do it. But it's another thing when you have chefs that look like you preparing it and letting you know it doesn't taste bland.
Yes.
It tastes good.
We know how to season.
Yes, and that's what it is. That's what cooking is. It's all
Yeah.
seasoning.
Exactly. I love it. All right. So this is the fun part. I love making this. The timer went off too. I'm good at my job. I'm just really good at it. All right. So before we get in this, let's go check on our beets. Hopefully they're done by now. Oh, we're almost there. We're like 90, maybe 80%, 85% there. All right. So we're going to take our plantains and we're going to dump it into a colander carefully. Always away from you. Last thing you want is hot liquid on your lap. Trust me, it's not fun. Beautiful. So you want 95% of the liquid gone. A little bit of liquid still in there. 100% okay. Save this liquid. This is super nutrient-packed liquid. A lot of vitamin C in this. You can use this for cooking. You can add more flavors into it, more stocks or more vegetables, and bring it up to a boil and make another stock. So all these extra bits and pieces, throw this into that and boil it again. Get a good veggie stock going. All right, so we're gonna turn the heat on low, all right? Because we're gonna be adding in our coconut milk or coconut cream. And we want this coconut cream to melt a little bit. And it's also, we want to keep this hot. So coconut cream in there, season with some salt. I'm gonna say about a teaspoon of salt, another teaspoon of black pepper. And then we're gonna get our masher and we're gonna start mashing. And again, if you have dark plantains, they're gonna be sweeter. If you have greener plantains, they're gonna be more bitter. Do you like plantains, Miguel? You love plantains.
Plantain chips.
Plantain chips. Trader Joe's ones? Oh yeah. You ever try making your own air fryer style? Oh.
It's starting to warm up.
Yes.
I'm such a crock pot gal. I love my, and I love my
Instapot. Well, I say the air fryer is the Instapot of summer.
Yes, exactly.
So we're gonna turn this off. Now that all of the coconut milk is absorbed into the plantain mash. Now, depending on like what kind of texture you like it chunky, you want it smooth, you can keep smashing away. But I kind of like it a little more rustic. So a little bit of chunks, mostly mash. We're of course gonna taste it for salt. Spot on. So that's ready to go, plantain mash. Keep it in a warm spot. Perfect. Now, if this is too thick, remember we can always add more of that plantain water back into this, but it's pretty good. Oh, one thing we almost forgot. I'm gonna add a little bit of fat, a little good fat, a little bit of olive oil. And what's that gonna do is gonna kind of cut through, I would say, it will give it a little more body, a little more smoothness into our plantains. And also you kind of smell that olive oil. Good olive oil smells amazing. Just don't do this while it's like piping hot. Do it when it's kind of almost, when it's off the heat. So that olive oil fragrance stay throughout your food. That's perfect. Give it a quick taste. That's perfect. And you can kind of see good plantain mash kind of stick to the pot. So perfect. All right, that is going to be timer 4 beets. You can kind of see beets kind of almost half in size. Oh, that's good. That's what we're looking for. So just about there. So I'm gonna keep this in the oven, keep it warm. And then let's go back to our curry. So I'm gonna make sure this doesn't blow. Plug this in the right one. All right, so our beet curry. It's nice and happy. It's reduced down just a little bit. It's nice and sexy and smooth. That's what we're looking for. We're going to find our bay leaf because it's done its job. It's flavored our food, but we don't want to grind that down, especially if it's dried. So we're going to remove that. It's done its flavoring. Put that in there. Now any large twigs of thyme, I call them twigs, like these, we can take out. Just fish them out. Does it really matter? Can you grind them up? You could, but it's the small details. It doesn't take that long. Just mix and you'll see them pop up. They're like little flags. So one thing I really want to talk a little bit about while we're doing this is the importance of substitution. You know, I grew up in a house where every meal was meat, rice, and vegetables, mostly rice and meat, very little vegetables. And as an adult, I've packed on a few extra pounds. But as I turn my life around and I'm trying to eat healthier and all these things, one of the biggest things is understanding how much protein does a person need per day. And for this dish, I come from a mindset of we get a lot of protein from every source, whether it's animal products throughout the entire day. So for Meatless Monday, and this is just me, I like to take away protein from my dinner because majority of times I'm having like a bunch of eggs, protein shake from workouts, you know, a bunch of chicken for lunch. And I'm like, when it comes to proteins, your body will, once it's kind of hit this threshold of amount of proteins it can absorb in a day, it just turns it into fat. or you pee it out. And I just want to just have the mindset of like, well, maybe I don't need extra protein and I'm going to take it out because I live a lifestyle. Of course, I eat meat every day, and I know that like missing out on one meal of extra protein is not going to kill me. So like when I'm thinking about like what is the benefit, less animals that have to die for me. Also a little bit healthier meal, really focusing on nutrient dense meals. That's what I'm going for. So for me, especially now that like I've signed up for my second 5K this year, I'm really trying to focus on how can I eat healthier, how can I make better choices, and also understanding the actual science behind what I eat. Like, do I need 100 grams of protein a day? No. Can I live without it? Yes. Will I die? No. I'm pretty sure I will not die. Will I die? No. There you go. I won't die. Okay, this says no. All right. So we're going to get our burr mixer. So what do you do, Michaela, for when it comes to like eating less meat in your lives?
A lot of lentils, beans. Just a lot of beans.
Beans and lentils. Okay. What is the meat you can never live without? Steak.
Yeah.
Like, okay. You love steak?
I crave burgers sometimes. It's so weird.
No, that's totally understandable. I respect that.
Sometimes I just crave them.
What's your steak of choice?
Filet mignon.
Filet mignon. Okay, I'm more of a porterhouse person, but I feel you. All right, so let's get into it. So we're gonna get our burr mixer going. Perfect. Sorry for the loud noises, y'all. So, I gotta shoot. So now our curry is nice and smooth. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Nice and red. Now it's time to do some seasoning. Any extra last second seasoning that we need to do. One of the things we're going to do to balance this is, of course, going to be the maple syrup. Because when you have a lot of vegetables, we need to balance the acidity with a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of fat if we need to. So one thing also is once you blend it, you're going to be keeping it on the heat. It's going to continue to cook a little bit, so just be very mindful. We're going to put I want to start with a tablespoon of maple syrup, just to balance everything out. Add more if you need to. But I don't think we're gonna need more than a tablespoon. Like when it comes to curries, people, I've learned a lot when it comes to like Thai food of using all the flavors, the spicy, the sweet, the bitter, the salty, the umami, and your curry should have all those flavors in there. Oh yeah, tablespoon is perfect. We're gonna add a little more salt. And if you're trying to go more healthy, you can always go with the pink Himalayan salt. A little more pepper. Oh yeah. So we're nice and happy. All right, so curry is just about ready. Do one more tasting. Perfect. Now this will be the time where if you have canned garbanzo beans or if you have soaked garbanzo beans, you want to make sure they're pretty much fully cooked when we put this in. If you are using pre-soaked and they're not fully cooked, I would put the garbanzo beans in with all the vegetables and let it simmer along so it fully cooks. And then before you blitz it, just remember that you're going to do a more of a light blitz. You don't want to turn this into like hummus, curry hummus. So very light on the blitzing. So we're going to add this. Now, can you add proteins to this? You can. You can add like roasted chicken, steak, whatever you want. This is a very easy base recipe. And when it comes to a lot of curries, this like the idea of garlic, ginger, thyme, curry powder, carrots, bell pepper, and onion, that's like the base. That's your curry. You add whatever you want to kind of, liven it up. You want to make it more green, use green bell peppers, use spinach, use kale, use chard, whatever you want to add into it. But it's just more of like an idea of like, what's the base recipe? How can I elevate it? And for us, we added beets. Now we're adding garbanzo beans and a little bit more maple syrup. And again, if you don't have maple syrup, you can always use other kind of sweetener. Just try the more all natural route. So raw cane sugar. You can also use palm sugar, which is another really good alternative. But nothing that has been processed. Keep away from processed sugars. All right, so this is ready. We're gonna pull the beets out. Mikhail, you wanna come up and eat with us? Yeah, come on up. Everybody gets a bowl today. So wave hi to everybody who don't know. This is the Feed Mouse name is Michaela. She's been in the background. The voice behind the mic, and also been talking to you guys for, no one's really been talking, but you know what I mean. So we're gonna grab. Oh yeah.
Colors.
Colors, that is the key. We want them colors. All right, so on that. I'm gonna grab a couple of forks. All right. So when it comes to plating, keep it simple. Oh, one more thing. I want to grab some cilantro. So you don't necessarily need, but I like to add herbs to whatever I eat to make it look fancy, but also it's really good for you. So we have some cilantro that we had from another class. So we're gonna use that as our garnish. So we're gonna get our mash, put it right down. Don't go too heavy because again, this is very, do you want to try?
Oh, you got one.
Oh, I got you, okay. There we go, I'll switch you. So, and then one ladle, yep, right on top. Look at that, it's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I'll switch you. So nice red curry. Grab a fork. And we're just gonna grab some beets. Just decorate your top of your entire plate with our curried beets.
Oh, beautiful. And I just loved how you use every part of each vegetable.
Oh yeah.
Especially during Earth Month. That's like
very
what we wanna
important.
hear,
Yep. All right, and then of course our cilantro. Just grab a big head of it, and the more the merrier. Don't be too shy. Want it to look like spring. Spring is here.
Spring is sprung.
Nope. So here you go, y'all. That is our Instagram worthy beet curry. Look at that.
So beautiful. And
Yeah.
so it's not simple, but flavorful.
Flavorful.
I love it.
It's just simple ingredients making complex flavors. That's the way to do it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's try it.
That's good. Really good.
Really? All right.
The plantain mash is perfect for the bottom. I love
All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Reach and Multnomah County Health Department for putting on this class with Feed the Mass. If you guys want more information, go to the link down below. You can also go to, what's your website? Reach.org?
Yeah.
Okay. Reach.org, sorry. Just want to make sure I had it right. Reach.org if you want to learn more information about upcoming classes. We're also, if you have any comments down below, please ask your questions about the entire class. We'd love to hear. We will be replying to everything. And if you want to learn something specific or specific vegetables or how we can make a certain dish, meatless, let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe online, tell people about us, and see you guys next month.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna have another special guest chef who's gonna be coming in, and I'm super excited for the next one. It's gonna be a secret. Shh. See you guys.
Thank you.
I'll let you eat up there.
I'm gonna eat.
Perfect.